Hello everybody, I have a video here for you today. We're going to go back to ancient America. We're going to go down to Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this is a site that was maybe thriving around 2,000 years ago. Back up a little bit here. Here is the main part of town. This is where the site is today. This is closed to the public. This is Indian Mounds Drive down by the river down here. I think this is the Grand River and the 196 right here. This is where the ruins lay, right down here. Not open to the public. Let me just give you a look at what these look like, and we'll look at some artifacts. Now, there was excavation work done on these, and a lot of artifacts were pulled from here. And this was done maybe about 50, 60 years ago, and here's some old pics. And I'm not sure what kind of photography process makes the pictures turn out this way. Now, here's a diagram done when the work was done here, when all the mounds were still around. This is in Kent County, Michigan. There were about a dozen mounds here originally, and some of these are still sitting there with trees growing out of them, covered in bushes and undergrowth. But I noticed the three main mounds here. You have two large mounds, and then one smaller set off-size mound. That just makes me wonder about Orion. But I have made more than a few videos on how Orion seemed to be very important to the mound builders, and here is some ancient rock art. And I think this is found more towards Detroit, but this is from Michigan. And this clearly is Orion, the left foot, just slightly above the right foot, and the arrow. And I've made some videos where I go over the origin of that constellation and how it's depicted in ancient cultures. And I found this. Here are some decorated upper turtle shells, and they have designs on them. This one caught my eye, a turtle shell with the three glyphs on it. Well, I talked about the Mayan presence in Florida. What about a Mayan presence all the way up in Michigan? But those three glyphs on the back of the turtle, they are 100% Mayan, and they come from a very important story. Here is the Mayan turtle of creation. It says, "The place of the three stones." The place of the three stones was, however, not just a reference to a place on earth representing the fiery heart of the earth. It referred to a place in heaven. In fact, it was the heart of heaven, the god's birthplace. That place was associated with the turtle constellation, which had on his back the three central stones, or Oxtun, of creation. The three stones were associated with the three gods of creation, including Kukulkan. These three stones on the turtle's back refer to the constellation of Orion. And here's another old pic when they were doing excavation at the mound site here. And here's what they found down in the middle underneath a mound that was excavated. Seems to be a central burial tomb, and then there are skeletons all around. Here are some of the artifacts excavated from the mounds. It looks like there's beads, bone tools here, and jaws of maybe a wolf. Maybe right here. And these artifacts, this is called a work kit. Maybe some bone needles, some spear points, and I'm not sure what these two and these two are. Here are some other things pulled from the main mounds. Conch shells, probably from Florida, reaffirming that the ancient United States was one vast trading system and the rivers were the highways. Here, turtle shells. This could be one with the three glyphs. And that isn't kind of like the Mayan creation story and how they represent it with the turtle. That is the Mayan creation story represented on the turtle. Now, we haven't seen too many of these, but these appear to be whole clay vessels of some sort coming from the mound builders with some sort of decoration on here that you can barely make out. Here is a classic old pic of the mounds along the river here by Grand Rapids, Michigan, called the Norton Mounds. And I guess a lot of flooding takes place here. Here is one of the mounds as it sits in the woods today, closed to the public. Here is another mound sitting in the woods, remnants of a culture that was thriving here 2,000 years ago. Here's a look at one of the mounds in the winter, some good-sized trees on this mound. And here is a pic coming from the 1800s of the Norton Mounds, and this was named after a Captain A.N. Norton, who owned this property in the 1800s. Here's an historical marker that designates this site, but I wonder, where is this historical marker? Is it in the museum, or is it down next to the highway there in that area that's closed to the public where the mounds are. I just wonder about that. As the Norton Mound Group has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark under the provisions of the Historic Sites Act of August 21, 1935, this site possesses exceptional value in commemorating or illustrating the history of the United States. But I'm just wondering, where is that plaque today? Now here is a video from Chris Penny, and he is responsible for a few of the photographs that you've seen in this video. I'm going to subscribe to him right now, but I will leave the link for this video here. And this is some pretty important things he brings up. Some vandalism. People dump garbage down here. Is this the way a 2,000-year-old sacred site should be treated? Well, please visit this video. Leave some thoughts. But here, this story of the Norton Mounds is unique, just like every other site we have looked at in ancient America. Some of them were reconstructed in an effort to preserve the symbolism of what went before, but there was maybe 4 or 5 dozen mounds total in this whole area, and some of them remain today lost and forgotten. That's the way it appears to me. If you have different information, please leave it in the comments section. I can only do so much research for each of these videos, but I found this one to be very interesting. And there was another mound group, I think, located near the central part of Grand Rapids called the Converse Mounds, and those were wiped out decades ago. So that is Grand Rapids, Michigan. I know there are some people here that would like better preservation and have these to be open to the public and treated just a little bit better, but they are still around today. They are called the Norton Mounds, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I don't know if a lot of people know the true history of these or even know that they're here. If you live in the area, I'd like to hear from you. But that's another ancient America site. Hope you thought that was interesting. You all have a very nice day.